Hey everybody, it's your girl Raquel, and this is Reading the Pages of Life. We are continuing our series on The Secret. If you have not gotten this book, I want to definitely encourage you to go and pick this book up. Okay, we're going to jump right in, moving on with the next chapter. This chapter is on the secret of relationships. Now, I have to ask you a question. Have you ever said that you wanted a particular person, or you wanted to be in a certain type of relationship? You wanted to date a certain man or date a certain type of woman, but yet it's like you don't seem to attract those kind of people that you say that you want to meet or date. Could it be that somewhere in your mind, your thoughts are preventing you from pulling that person to you because you're thinking and acting the opposite of what you're saying that you want? Well, that's what The Secret is saying in this chapter on The Secret on Relationships. This one is some good stuff. Uh, there was a thing, I'm going to butcher this guy's name. Fing Shu. He's a teacher. He actually is one of the co-authors in this book as well. He was given an example about a painter who would always paint this picture of this woman who was half naked, and her face would be like turned away from him. And so he asked the painter, he said, "Who was this woman, and did you paint her?" And he said, "Yes, I love this picture. I love this woman." And he told him, he said, "You must have problems in your relationship." And the guy was like, "How did you know?" And he said, "Well, because of, I guess, the painting. He's painting this woman by herself and then her looking away from him." And so he asked him, "Well, what do you want?" He said, "Well, I want to date 3 women a week, or I want to, I want to have a fulfilling dating life." And so he told him, "Well, paint that. Paint yourself with 3 women and make several paintings of that and put it around your house and think on that. And if that's what you really want, then you need to act like that." And so I guess as time went on, he went back and talked with the guy and asked him about his love life. And he said, "Yes, I am dating more women and women are calling me." And he was happy. And so the philosophy behind that is, we can say with our mouths anything, but we don't really truly believe it in our minds and in our hearts, and then our actions don't reflect what we say. So there's some contradictory stuff going on. So the universe is confused as to what it is that you want and what signal are you trying to send. Well, for one, it's not confused with what your mind is sending. The universe hears exactly what your mind is saying, but you're speaking one thing and thinking something else. So therefore, there's some contradictory stuff going on. Um, he writes about the painter: "The outer level of himself, his house, was contradicting his wishes all the time." Okay, so if you understand that your actions and your surroundings and the things that you do have to coincide with what you're thinking in order to bring what you want into fruition, then you're on the right path of getting it. So think about what you have asked for and make sure that your actions are mirroring what you expect to receive. Okay? And that they're not contradicting what you've asked for. Act as if you are receiving it. Do exactly what you would do if you were receiving it today, and take actions in your life to reflect that powerful expectation. Okay? Now, reading on, Lisa Nichols, who's also a co-author, she says, "Inside relationships, it's important to first understand who's coming into the relationship and not just your partner. You need to understand yourself first." Okay, so that's really important. A lot of times we go in with an expectation of what we want from them and not really understanding the expectation of ourselves, or what we're bringing, or what's going on with us. James Ray, another contributor of the book, says, "How can you ever expect anyone else to enjoy your company if you don't enjoy your own company? And so, again, the law of attraction, or the secret, is about bringing that into your life. You've got to get really, really clear. Here's the question I would ask you to consider. Do you treat yourself the way you want other people to treat you? Wow. Now that's really important, because, that's one of the keys that we always talk about in the Bible, where it says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, or love your neighbor as yourself. But the question is, are we really treating ourselves good? Are we really good to ourselves? Are we really focusing on our health, eating healthy, living healthy, thinking healthy, reading and hearing and watching healthy stuff, or stuff that's going to contribute to our success and to make us happy and make us healthy? Do we even take the time to think about that for ourselves? And then in reality, when we do, sometimes the people that are around us may think that we're selfish because we're really trying to get ourselves together, So that's an interesting thought. So that's something that I want to hear your thoughts on that one too. Now, in the book, it also says, here's something that really got my attention. It says, many people have sacrificed themselves for others, thinking when they sacrifice themselves, they are being a good person. Wrong. To sacrifice yourself can only come from thoughts of absolute lack, because it is saying there is not enough for everyone, so I will go without. That is powerful. Oh my God. Those feelings do not feel good and will eventually lead to resentment. There is an abundance for everybody, and it is each person's responsibility to summon their own desires. You cannot summon for another person, because you cannot think and feel for another. Your job is you. When you make feeling good a priority, that magnificent frequency will radiate and touch everyone close to you. Man, now that is a powerful, powerful statement. Powerful. Then it goes on to say, many of us were taught to put ourselves last. And as a consequence, we attract feelings of being unworthy and undeserving. Wow. And those feelings lodged within us, we continue to attract more life situations that had us feel more unworthy and not good enough and not to have enough. Man, you have to change the way you think. Whew, this is some good stuff. Reading on, undoubtedly, to some, the ideal of giving so much love to self will seem very cold, hard, and unmerciful. Still, this matter may be seen in a different light when we find that looking out for number one, as directed by the infinite, is really looking out for number two, and is needed the only way to permanently benefit number two. What does that mean? Well, unless you fill yourself up first, unless you make sure that you're healthy and that you're happy first, you have nothing to give anybody. Let's look at an example. When you are on the plane and they go through, in case of an emergency or a disaster, what needs to happen, and they talk about the air vents that come down, the little, what is it, the oxygen things that come down. They tell you, put yours on first, then put on your neighbors. Okay? Because how can you help somebody if you are not healthy? Come on, people, think about it. But yet, all of our lives, we have been taught to sacrifice ourselves. This is awesome. This is some good stuff. Man. Okay, so Lisa Nichols goes on to say, I got into my relationships expecting my partner to show me my beauty because I didn't see my own beauty. When I was growing up, my heroes, or my sheroes, were the Bionic Woman, Wonder Woman, and Charlie's Angels. And while they're wonderful, they didn't look like me. It wasn't until I fell in love with Lisa. I fell in love with my own mocha skin, my full lips, my round hips, my curly black hair. It wasn't until that happened that the rest of the world was able to fall in love with Lisa as well. Man, so here are some keys. In order for you to attract that perfect mate, to attract that thing, that person, that love of your life that you want, you have to first become that. You have to first become the love of your life. You have to first become that perfect mate. Man, this is some really good stuff. Okay, let's move on. Let's see. Let's see. Marcy Shimoff says, in relationships, you're used to complaining about other people. Okay. However, there's something that you have to realize that in order for you to love yourself, you automatically have to love others. Now, as you love yourself, you will automatically love others. And as you love yourself, you will automatically draw those who will love you. Now, that's interesting. Wow, that's some good stuff. What else? Let's see. Let's go on. Oftentimes, we give others the opportunity to create your happiness, and many times they fail to create it the way you want it. Why? Because only one person can be in charge of your joy, of your bliss, and that's you. So even your parents, your child, your spouse, they do not have the control to create your happiness. They simply have the opportunity to share in your happiness. Your joy lies within you, man. So when we're talking about relationships, we have to remember that our thought process and what's in our heart cannot contradict what's in our mind. Because if it does, we're sending mixed signals, right? Okay, so to summarize this particular chapter, when you want to attract a relationship, make sure your thoughts, your words, and your actions and your surroundings don't contradict your desires. Your job is you. Unless you fill yourself up first, you have nothing to give anybody. Treat yourself with love and respect, and you will attract people who will show you love and respect. When you feel bad about yourself, you block the love, and instead you attract more people and more situations that will continue to make you feel bad about you. Focus on the qualities you love about yourself, and the law of attractions will show you more great things about yourself. Now, that's a good one. Focus on those things that you love about yourself and those things that are positive about yourself. To make a relationship work, focus on what you appreciate about the other person and not your complaints. When you focus on the strengths, you will get more of them. So basically, don't focus on the lack or the things that they're not doing or the things that they're not, but focus on the good things and compliment the good things. Okay? So I want to leave you with this. What are you reading that is feeding your subconscious mind, that's helping to form and shape your opinions about the way you see yourself, the way you see others, and the way you see your world around you? This has been Reading Pages of Life, and I'm Raquel, and I'm out. Look forward to seeing you guys next time around. Be blessed.